Jimmy Carter, the longest-living American president, has died at the age of 100. The Georgia-born Democrat was the 39th leader of the United States. He then went on to have a decades-long career devoted to humanitarian causes. Our tributes have been pouring in through the day. U.S. President Joe Biden has declared the 9th of January a national day of mourning for Carter, adding that America and the world lost an extraordinary leader, statesman, and humanitarian.
Jimmy Carter lived a life measured not by words, but by his deeds. Just look at his life's work. He worked to eradicate disease, not just at home, but around the world. He forged peace, advanced civil rights, human rights, promoted free and fair elections around the world.
President-elect Donald Trump says Americans owe Mr. Carter a debt of gratitude. He says the challenges he faced as president came at a pivotal time for the country, as he did everything in his power to improve people's lives. The former U.S. leader was also remembered for establishing diplomatic relations with China. Beijing offered its deep condolences over Jimmy Carter's death, with Chinese state media reporting that President Xi Jinping is, quote, deeply saddened by his passing. Nick Harper looks back on Mr. Carter's life and career.
Our lives in many ways.
Throughout, Jimmy Carter lived a life of service, always putting others at the heart of his actions. For 4 decades after leaving office, the former president regularly helped build homes for the organization Habitat for Humanity.
I think that's the times in my life when I have wept more than any other, for excitement and for gratification that I was privileged, along with my wife, to participate in such a great project.
A devoted volunteer well into his 90s, Carter was involved in the construction of over 4,000 homes worldwide for those in need. Just one part of a lifetime spent promoting human rights, defending democratic freedoms, and improving human health in developing countries.
She gets three tablets.
His efforts even leading to the almost complete eradication of the deadly guinea worm disease in Asia and Africa.
Working in the hot August sun.
More brief was his political career, which saw him rise from Georgia peanut farmer to state governor, before eventually making his move for the White House.
America needs someone like this as president.
To the surprise of many, Carter defeated the incumbent Gerald Ford, and in January 1977 was sworn in as America's 39th president.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
the
office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
The 39th presidency. A story of partnership.
One of his standout policy achievements, bringing Israel and Egypt's leaders to Camp David to establish a framework for peace in the Middle East. However, it was a different foreign challenge that would come to define Jimmy Carter's one-term presidency, the Iran hostage crisis.
We continue to face a grave situation in Iran, where our embassy has been seized and more than 60 American citizens continue to be held as hostages in an attempt to force unacceptable demands on our country. We're using every available channel to protect the safety of the hostages and to secure their release.
Carter later said his re-election would have happened if he'd wiped Iran off the map, but he feared the loss of innocent lives. Instead, the hostages were returned safely home on the same day Carter's successor, Ronald Reagan, was sworn into office.
The Iran hostages were a part in him losing decisively as an incumbent. I submit that given the economic and the international developments of the time, he still would have lost.
Driven by a strong sense of duty and faith, he founded the Carter Center, which was dedicated to humanitarian projects. And in 2002, he became the first ex-president to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to promote democracy and peace worldwide. And by his side throughout, his wife Rosalind. He said the secret to their long marriage was never going to sleep on an argument.
He was an individual who happened to be president, but who will be remembered for work that he did as a private citizen. And while we think of the Carter Center or his teaching Sunday school in the Baptist Church in Plains, let us also think of work he did with troubled families, and I think he'll be remembered as a good husband and a devoted husband.
His wife, Rosalind, passed away in November 2023.
Celebrate Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday with us!
A year later, in October 2024, a month before the 2024 US presidential election, Carter turned 100, becoming the first former president in US history to achieve the milestone. He received a special message from the then Democratic candidate, Kamala Harris.
Happy birthday, President Carter. The world is so much better because of your leadership, your work, your commitment to peace, to decency, to democracy. And I just wish you the happiest birthday.
And Carter went on to vote for Harris over Donald Trump, fulfilling a wish to live long enough to cast his vote. Jimmy Carter leaves behind 4 children, as well as grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
I've had a wonderful life. I've had thousands of friends, and I've had an exciting and adventurous and gratifying existence.